Hello and welcome to Shad's Voice, where I get a random topic and we talk about, well, I talk about it until I can't talk about it anymore. Um, so from a random topic generator. And this is an interesting one because everybody does this differently. And we probably do it so commonly that most people probably don't even think about it. Because I don't even think about it half the time. Um, and like I said, it's like a common thing. So the topic is, more or less, what's the first thing you notice when meeting somebody new or someone new? So we meet a lot of people in our lives. It could just be like for a few minutes, few seconds. You might not even see them again, or you're gonna see them every single day for your rest of your life, especially if you're like working somewhere and it's like a new coworker or whatever. But it could also just be a random person off the street, like you might not ever see again. We meet a lot of people in life, and it's just different. And I think personally, this depends on who that certain somebody is within any reason you're meeting them. Like if you're meeting them because your friend introduced you to them, or if you're meeting them because they're a new coworker, there's probably different ways that you associate with that person then, depending on the situation in which you're meeting them. But there might still be a same way that you go about meeting people and how you get to know them. So, like one of the first things you might notice, or like see a new person, you pay attention to what they're wearing, what they look like, obviously. Um, when you get their name, so you have a general idea. Well, if you see them again, you remember who they are. Yeah. That's probably the basic way of going that way. How do I go about meeting people or getting to know them? Thinking about it, the first thing I notice, when meeting somebody, rather than besides what they look like or um whatever. I guess I go by what my vibe tells me sometimes, or like their vibe they're giving off, which can be good or bad. I mean, uh, like one of the things I like think of that I notice when meeting somebody is how do they talk? How do they sound? Not how their voice talks, but it's like, are they basically going to be a very strong, egotistical person, or do they actually have some kind of respect in a way that, oh, I'm not better than you, or something like that? I think that is the first thing as a person when I'm meeting a new person that I pay attention to. And obviously, we don't want somebody who's going to be so full of themselves that they're going to be unpleasant to talk about or talk to. So I think that to me that is the first thing I not try to, but one of the things that when I meet somebody new, that's what I get. It's like, how am I going to get along with this person? How do they handle themselves? How are they talking to me right now? That kind of thing. And if you just kind of listen to somebody, like when they're talking to you, you sometimes get that right away. If you pay attention, like if you pay attention to the way they're talking, how they're reacting, or like certain things, little things, it's hard to describe. But this is like the one of the important things of this is how you get to know the person before you're in any insane situation where you might just have to rely on them. And can you rely on them? That's mostly the thing you're kind of looking for. And that first impression, whether you know it or not, is going to affect your opinion on that person. So, yeah, that's what I would say I pay attention to when meeting new people. I recently had a new coworker come into my department. She seems nice. She does. I'm not getting like a strong ego vibe from her, and that's good. That's great. Fantastic. She thinks she's very talkative. That's not a bad thing, no. Uh, but she mostly seems very nice. So I pretty much will. I think I'll get along with her. Haven't had too long of talks with her, but haven't really officially introduced myself to her. But I mean, we have name tags, so more or less maybe you don't need it. But I've talked to her. I know my boss has asked me if I talked to her or whatever, but um, yeah, so that's mostly what the experience I'm pulling from is that I recently have met a new person. The yesterday, actually, I've had uh, I'm gonna say I work at retail. That's all I'm gonna say. And we had other people from the stores and third party working freight for us. And as I was doing my job, and I met another woman from a different store who just wanted to tell me I was the only person uh, doing my job that she had seen that day. And it was a very quick conversation, but she was very nice about it, and I wasn't getting any big like ego vibes from her either. Luckily, but seemed very nice, and we chatted a little bit because I was done doing my job. I was just kind of walking back to my department and stuff like that. And, and I deal with a lot of customers too, and that can be the good and bad of getting along with people. Because not every customer is going to be happy and grateful and all that stuff, but you take it as you go. And you can't hope to have everybody be nice and helpful and all of that. You're just wishing for a lot then. Um, so yeah, like to me, every day I'm kind of just meeting somebody new, and it's kind of almost horrible for me because I have sort of almost horrible, but at the same time, I'm kind of just trying to break out of it. I do have a social anxiety that put in a stressful situation, especially even between a lot of people or loud people, like just loud commotion in general, can and makes me want to distance myself away just to get away from that. And dealing with a lot of customers, especially, can get very uncomfortable very fast. I even had to explain to somebody yesterday as I was working um, why I never go up front to when they asked me to, but I didn't even know it was my boss sent two other people in my place when they called me. He didn't even tell me until I asked. But I had to explain to her, well, I don't like being up front because of my social anxiety and I get stressed. I don't know if it's going to make a difference if they're going to want me to do it or not. Still, I guess it's a wait and see. Um, but I don't know. Like, I like talking to people, but at the same time, there's a half of me that absolutely just wishes I was by myself. But at the same time, I know that interaction is important, and I do still talk to people who talk to me and stuff. It's a weird balance. But, yeah, and meeting new people goes different for a lot of people. And you might not even think about the first thing that you might notice about meeting somebody. But hopefully, after hearing this, or hearing me talking about it, maybe you'll realize what do you pay attention to when you're exactly meeting a new person. Um, and what you see when meeting a new person, or hear or tell what you can tell just meeting somebody, even if they're going to be somebody you see every day or not. Um, I think that was a good topic, and I think I'm done with it. So hopefully, yeah, you enjoyed this video. Thank you for listening if you had. I will see you in the next one.